Pencil power. Well, hello there, art adventurers. In today's video, we're going to be drawing the hand in the four most basic ways that I think are important to learn because hands are super complicated and it's not just a simple matter to learn how to draw them, but these four ways of drawing the hand I think are the most common poses I use. And I'm making this video because Jack asked if I could get a how to draw hands video because he said he's always ruining so many drawings with shuffle hands, and I know what he means. And so I thought, you know what, having a handful of hands in your repertoire to draw from can really make that a lot easier as you learn to draw the hands on a deeper level. And I'll do like a hand anatomy video that's more in-depth and stuff once I get better at hands and feel more confidence to share that with all the muscles and bones and all the different stuff. So I'll actually start off with these two guys and show you guys how the hand, just the basic construction but rarely do people hold their hands in either of these poses, so I don't think they're actually that helpful. So I'll just go through them quickly and then we'll go through the other four poses after that. So the main thing is, let's draw two circles and we'll do the front and back of the hand side by side. So some people will start off with squares. I think a circle is nice because one thing to keep in mind is that, so here is going to be the wrist, so you know that we're having the hands pointing up, that the top of the hand here is where the knuckles are, has a U-shape arc. Okay, so it's not square like that because that actually will give a pretty stiff looking hand, and it often doesn't have to be super exaggerated either, but it's just a something that to be aware of. So there's going to be that arc here, and there's also going to be an arc above for the fingers that also shows a similar, it kind of echoes the bottom arc, right? So whether you're from the front or the back, this is going to be an important thing. So I think drawing with the palm facing you is easier to start getting the idea. So one thing that I really like to do is use this diamond shape to get the part of the pad of the hands, and then a square shape next to it, something like that. And then on top you have a kind of this sort of a U shape, upside down U shape. And that already gives the idea. See, there's a little indent here, which you could even shade in, and that's kind of like these are all pads of the hand, and that's the one part that isn't the pad, that is kind of like indented a little bit. From here you can put this kind of a shape, a little lemon slice, and connect it in for the thumb. And you'll see the thumb, it kind of, I feel like it gets a little bit thinner. So these are actually tapering in towards each other and then bending back when the thumb is fully extended. If the thumb is bent in, just same thing, but just have the thumb, the little lemon slice like that. Cool. So I want to have the thumb out a little bit for this one. And then the next little tip that I want to give is that there's a little bit of space between each of the fingers. That's something I never used to do, and that makes a big difference, just keeping in mind that little tiny space in between the fingers. They can be pressed together, and if they are, we'll do them all pressed together here, then they'll start to come in. See how it's tapering inwards on both those sides? So this is the back of the hand over here. So when they press together, they actually taper inwards. Alright, so that's one little thing that'll keep that in mind. So here you can put a little triangle because remember there's that diamond on the pad of the hand, but on the back you'll just see a triangle sticking out, and then the same thing with the thumb. And then for here I kind of like to do, so there's three parts of the finger, right? It's going to do, the finger has three parts like that, and you can kind of even do it with like these U shapes. So 1, 2, 3 to exaggerate, and either keep it smooth on the bottom is one way, or do 3 U's on the bottom too, and that'll give you like the idea of how the fingers are if you want to kind of get into more detail. But a lot of times if it's a straight hand, I find it easier just to combine these two, and then use little stalks to connect them. Remember, we have, maybe you can see a little bit of a gap in there, but now that they're all bunching together, they're kind of tapering inwards towards each other. See that? And you have a little bump bone on this side, away on the side opposite of the thumb. And this side comes in a little bit, indents a little bit. Then a lot of times you'll want to draw the knuckles first. So you can mess around with figuring out the order of all these. But again, I just want to kind of give an idea. And then there are these tendons, I believe they are. Or, yeah, tendons, ligaments. I'm not sure which one. Actually. Tendons, because they're, anyways, not important. These, you know, things coming off from the knuckle, and also again, they're tapering inwards. There's 4 of them. This is too many, but just to show you that they're tapering inwards slightly. So here you've got basically the back of the hand, right? And then to go back to the front of the hand, these ones will leave the fingers slightly apart. But see, again, you can kind of place these in first. Say something like that. And then attach them. And you have a basic hand going on. We've got the little bump on the other side. It's not as noticeable on the inside, so you might just have it come out slightly like that. And then there's like a, I don't know, is that a muscle or veins or something? But this part, and you see it's kind of tapering inwards like this slightly. Okay? And then this one also has that little indent here, which I'm just gonna show like that. Cool. So you've got the idea of like the front and the back of the hand, just kind of a general construction to get you started. So let's learn some just quick poses that are the easiest ones, I think, to start putting into your drawings, or the ones that most commonly used. So we'll start with this guy. Oops. Start with this guy over here, because I think he's the most easy to get started with, okay? Let me actually just erase this out, and we'll do them right underneath. I think that'll be the easiest way to go ahead and show that. So here, let's just start with another circle, and you see then we've already got that curve for the knuckles. We'll have the thing coming up like this. So this is if someone's standing something like this, and they're holding something like that, right? And then this would be a pose you can use for that. So from here, you can either do it, let's show you 2 ways to do it. You can do it with a circle, or you can start with 2 lines like that, and a rounded end for the knuckles. And then what you want to do is start off with the pointer finger, and the rest you can just have a line, but give it a little, give it a little wave like that, just to indicate that, there are some fingers in there. You can put a U shape like that just to show one of the knuckles. You could come in and show more of them if you want. See here again, I have like a little W looking thing. And then you've got this triangle coming out here, right? And this is where the thumb will be doing something like that, but you can only see a small part of it. Some construction going on. Hopefully it'll stop. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that in the video, but probably will because it's pretty loud. And that's it. You can add some of these lines if you want to show the knuckle, to show those tendons. That's an option. But basically the way you've got it going on here is the basic idea. You can put that little, indicate this little bump here. See how it kind of comes out a little bit while this part more comes in. And that'll give you a basic, someone holding something. Alright, cool. So let's clear this out and we'll do the next one, where it's a similar hand shape, but just the relaxed hand hanging by the side. So similar to someone standing there with their hands just hanging by the side. Right? Nothing too fancy. So to do that, there's this particular shape that's super easy to do. And literally you could use a triangle like that. And just 1, 2 spikes. You can already see how this is coming across. And there'll be another, kind of, the hand will usually curl, so there'll be like little fingers, they'll be curling, the finger will be curling like that in a natural way. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think you'll know what I mean. So you can use what I said, we're putting one, grouping those two together, and then show one from the back. You just need one. You could show 2 or 3 if you want, but I think just having one showing from the back even does it. So let's leave it like that. And then remember, we've got our lemon slice shape, and that's pretty much it. You can put the dip, this little dip right here, and actually the hand, if you put the wrist out like this, the hand is kind of dips below. See this little, this is the pinky here. Does that make sense? Can you see how that's a hand extending? Right? So the, that should be the back because of the pinky on this side. But yeah, you can see that the hand goes down. It has, so here you can see a little bit of a bump. So the hand's actually below. That's a nice little detail to add some naturalism so it doesn't feel too stiff. And then, so that's like the basic way to do it. But yeah, you can also use this kind of shape. Same thing, I just kind of cut the triangle off. Put the little, we've got that diamond pad underneath. Put the thumb in. Put some knuckles in. Here we've got the finger. The finger's got maybe more of a, you see what I'm saying? Like this is curving back a little bit. If their fingers were really spread apart, you'd see something like this. Right? It's got that sort of vibe. So that gives a little bit of naturalism too, as opposed to just a straight, like that. So you got that tilting back a little on both. Maybe have the third finger curled up a little bit. So see, this one has been rotated inwards like that a little bit, while this one is more straight to the side. But same basic idea. Cool, so that's a great hand for just, something relaxing on the side here. Alright, let's move on to our third hand pose. We're going to be doing 2 more fists for holding things from different angles. So we've got the first fist, we can draw not quite a circle, like not quite a square, but we want this side where the knuckles are. This is where the knuckles are going to be longer, and then coming inwards, right? And then we're going to pop the thumb in, overlapping it. So really this is going to be more like that. And this is going to indicate too how the fingers actually curl inwards when the fist is closed. You see, the fingers don't actually go like this, straight, but they curl inwards towards the thumb. And that's going to give you a more naturalistic vibe. So you've kind of got a setup here, and that's like 90% of it. You can add the pad of the thumb and have, I'm not going to get into the arm stuff yet because I'll do a proper tutorial on that in the future. But here also we can think, okay, right here we've got them where they all bend in. So let's put the thing. But the thing that's interesting is the pointer one will usually come out a little bit. So you might notice that up here, this one isn't lined up with these three. The pointer finger might actually come out more, while these three are a little bit tighter. There's a common thing that'll happen. So this isn't coming out super duper great for me, this one. I'm not super happy with it. But I think it illustrates the point still. So I'm not going to worry about it because, you know, we're just having fun. We're doing some drawing. Hopefully the point has been made and you guys can look at some references and experiment to get the details down. But you can see how, you know, everything's curling inwards, and this top finger is sticking out more and indicating that the way that I've described. Alright, awesome. And finally we'll have our last fist to draw, which will be, you know, facing towards you. So this one you kind of already know. You could start with a circle or a more square shape, but let's start with more just kind of a circular shape. We've got our diamond, right? We've got our lemon wedge shape for the thumb. And then we're going to make, again, the pointer finger come out a little bit further, and the rest of these are curling inwards towards the thumb. And if it's got a full grip on the item, then you can indicate that plane change too. So this one's not coming out as clear. Oops. But hopefully you'll get the basic idea. Like I said, I'm no master at the hands. It's a complicated, one of the most complex parts of the body and one of the most expressive. Aside from the face, the hands really show a lot of character, both where they are and like how they're expressing themselves. So let's try this one more time. So this is if someone is kind of standing like this, you know, with a sword or something sticking out like that. Two swords. So the idea being you have the hand coming out like this, and you can even draw, once you kind of get used to it, you could draw this shape. You'll kind of get the idea that you've got the circle and you've got this part sticking out, which is part of that diamond. And then, oops, okay, let me follow my own step-by-step method. The diamond shape, the lemon wedge, connecting them together, the pointer finger, the rest of the fingers in a block, curling inwards, and that's pretty much it. That bump on this side, a little bit of curve in on that side, and you've basically got your hand holding something. Bonus tip, one thing that's kind of fun to do is you can draw a shape like this if you need to do another kind of hand. Draw a shape like this and divide it into 4 pieces, you know, and you've already got a very simplified, stylized hand. That can be, you see this in like Samurai Jack or like the Clone Wars style, where it's a little bit more like flat and simplified, right? And you just kind of take those fingers and curl them over, but the fun thing is to take the pointer finger, remember to have everything curling inwards, and separate the pointer finger. See? It's definitely something to experiment with. These aren't really coming out as well as I'd like. I don't know. And losing my mojo here at the end. But hopefully this was helpful. And I think actually the stylized one is something that I want to work more on. I mean, the hands in general. But as I kind of make progress in that, I definitely make another video just on these stylized type hands, because I think it's a really cool method. Like, they're really like flat but so easy and expressive and feel kind of realistic in a certain way. Cool, I think that's it. I hope you have been imbued with some, just a little bit, tiny bit more pencil power. Right on.